And welcome back. Gorilla Man's Garage. We're outside today. It's beautiful. We have today the Fimi Mini 3 and all the updates that just came in. Again, here's a link to my video about what it was like on the last barrage of updates and what they did in that. Here's the link. Okay. Yeah, since the last time, they've updated four things, I believe. They've done the flight controller twice, the camera, and the app. Okay. So they've introduced the Fimi Mini 3 SE, which is coming out next month, I'm hoping, anyway. And they introduced a 4G module, and I'll put a slide up here about this, because the SE and the Mini 3 are supposed to be capable of using a 4G module, but it won't work anywhere outside of China right now. So it's another, and the same with Hudson as well. They've got one, but it won't work in Canada. So there you go. So what else did they do with the app? Yeah, the big change on the app, the 1.1.42, was they gave an interface on the home screen where you can contact customer service directly. In theory, phenomenal idea, great idea. And Hudson has this as well on their app, but you have to join WeChat in China, and you have to know somebody in China to get sponsored. That's kind of weird. But in this one, for the Fimi one, it's just a straight interface. It's like Messenger. Boom, 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 boom. Unfortunately, there's nobody at the other end to answer it yet, and all you get is a response to your email address that says, yeah, you put a request in, but nothing happens to it. On the email end of it, you say contact by email. You get two options: Amazon, maybe they're going to Amazon, and the regular support. If you email the Amazon or the support, all you get is, oh, we got your message, here's a ticket number. And you're left in limbo for ever and ever and ever and ever. The other thing they did on the interface was they put a album button, so you can get right to your album. If you're one that downloads all your videos and pictures to your phone, that's a good idea. I don't know too many people that do that, but I'll just take the SD card out because it takes forever to download. Can you imagine downloading a 10-minute 4K video to your phone? Wow. This thing gets super hot. But I digress. Yeah, so in the, I'll put it up here, what the newest numbers are as of today, okay, and we've got the camera at 1011B, we've got the flight control at 1006K, and we've got the app at 1.1.42, okay? So what have they introduced besides that? They've done something, they did change something. Somewhere in the midst, if you go back and you look at your flight records, if you don't take a screen recording and you rely on your flight records to look at your flight after the fact to see where it went, what happened, where the interference might have come up, or a warning, or your battery, or whatever. Before 1.1.42, the telemetry was gone. You had height, altitude, but you didn't have distance, you didn't have speeds. Now they fixed that, so it's all there, so it's all good. So they're listening to somebody or they're watching somebody, but they're not telling anybody they're watching anybody, and they're just coming out with these updates, and that's what they're doing. So that changes that. What else are we looking at? Fixed a little bit of yeah, they say they fixed some low battery warnings and they optimized the interface and fonts. I haven't noticed any difference at all. Somebody can tell me if there is a difference between the fonts, because I don't see any difference. And I've hooked this up to two tablets and a phone. I don't see any difference. What I was interested in was there was one in 1.1.41. It said it changed the option. You could now use a software decoder or a hardware decoder for image transmission. Now I know what they are, hardware and software, but I don't know if Fimi thinks they're the same thing as we think they are. So I didn't really know what it meant, and I haven't got an answer from them. So I decided to test it, and I tested it. I put it up, image transmission, 4K, 30 frames per second, set it up, went out, came back on both of them, and here's the clip. So what do you think about that? I couldn't tell the difference. Now I know one's a little jaggedy because it ran out of interference and all this kind of stuff. And I'm in the woods here and all that. And one might appear a little bit lighter, and that might be because of sun. But overall, I really couldn't tell the difference. And I looked at this on a 55-inch TV, and I really had a hard time finding any significant difference. So I don't know which one is better, and Fimi hasn't told me. So there you go. The other thing I want to mention is, if you go into the Fimi, and I have a video about that, about the video quality when it's high, medium, and normal, okay? And one thing I didn't mention in that video, and I'll just mention here, is the bit rates of each one. If you go and run a 4K 30 video, it's going to be about 90 on the bit rate, okay? If you run it on medium, it's going to be about 60, and if you're in normal mode, about 41. That's 4K video. I did a Google search to find out what the compression rate was for YouTube videos. If you upload a 4K video, what do they compress it to? And they compress it to between 35 and 45. That's on a 4K video. So even at normal, that's within the range of what YouTube would compress it to. So, and on my examples, I think I could tell the difference between normal and high, but I don't think you could tell the difference between medium and high. Okay? If you did 2K video, your 2K video on high is about 41 natively in the Fimi Mini 3. If you were a medium, it's about 32, 33, and in normal, it's about 21. Well, a 2K video compressed in YouTube is about, okay, 20, 18 to 20, I think, okay? And if you go down to 1080p, it's about 8, okay? So you're way above the averages. So I can say with confidence, if you leave it on medium, you're fine. For 99% of the time, you're fine. That's tons good enough for anything, okay? But yeah, so that's it. So really, I'm not too worried about it being on medium for my sake, because it's gonna give me, what's it gonna give me? Medium, 60 bit rate. The bit rate is 60, and if I'm at 2.7, a bit rate of 33, which is almost double what it would be if when YouTube grabs it, because they're going to compress it. So there you go. But then again, pixels are not all the same. Not all pixels are created the same. I guess not all bit rates are created the same, and everybody interprets them differently. So if you're one of those that says, if it's going to do the highest, let's do the highest. Okay, so there you go. Like in a Hubsan, remember the Hubsan Zeno Mini SE? No, the Hubsan Zeno Mini Pro. You could zap it up to 200. Wow. One of my big negatives with the Hubsan is you can only go H.265, and that was with the Air 2 and the Air 3 and all that. It's only H.265. I really like H.264 because it's not as compressed, but that's just me. So that's about it. So we've talked about all the updates that have just finished coming through for the Mini 3. I did the little flight thing, and you just saw that, my little clip of the two side-by-sides. I didn't want to waste any time just sitting there putting the flight up and having a look. But yeah, a little cautionary not a warning, but a little hint here, okay? If you don't have the means, or you can't be bothered with doing a screen recording for every flight, which is highly, highly recommended, you do screen recording for every single flight. If you can't, okay, remember there is a flight record, and it will show you where your craft went in flight and back, as long as it's got signal. When it loses signal, that's it. Okay, it ends. If you gain signal back again, it starts again. Okay, so just there you go. So if you don't have screen recording, remember there's always flight recorders, flight records that give you an animation of it going up and back, and you can find all kinds of information from that. Okay. Okay. So till next time, get out, get some fresh air, enjoy yourselves. Okay. Remember, hit the like, hit the subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you in the next one. Okay. Bye now.